Well, we're back with you watching your ag commodity trade here on a Monday. I'm Marlin Bohling with you, and we're joined in studio by Chris Swift of Swift Trading Incorporated in
Good morning,
Nashville.
Marlin.
Thanks for coming in.
Yes, sir.
Kind of chilly out today.
Snowing, spitting snow out there.
You have to tell yourself it's spring.
That's right, April 16th.
And it could be much worse.
Yes, it could.
You think
the
about
guys up north.
Yeah, you think about our colleagues in the northern U.S.
Yes.
and boy, it's a tough day.
Yeah.
All right, so is that going to have much to do with our grain trade today?
Yes, and probably already started off. The increase of moisture out there is always going to be beneficial when we do get the opportunity to plant. So corn and beans will benefit from this greatly. The small amount.
Nice. That's a fire alarm.
Markets are on fire this morning.
I guess, yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully that'll cure itself.
Okay, all right. Would you like me to continue? Or?
I guess we can try, yeah. If you want, we can just take a break.
We might have to wait on this one,
cure itself. We'll take a quick break and while they find out what that's about, and we'll come back in a minute. Things are much quieter now, and we're going to take another look at the markets. I was talking with Chris Swift here of Swift Trading Incorporated in Nashville. We were just talking about the grain trade.
Yes.
And the potential weather impact on the, well, you said it could be helpful to the corn and soybean crops. Gotta love this when that goes
yeah,
off.
absolutely. That's okay. Yes, it should be beneficial to the corn and soybean crop for subsoil moisture. Get a little bit of warmth out there, and it'll all be good when they start to get the planters rolling. The wheat is the interesting thing because, yes, it will help that wheat that can be helped, but the one that's already dried out, and John showed me the pictures of where he was at in Kansas, and there's no wheat growing there. So
kind of dire straits out
there. Yeah, it really is.
There's
a section out there in that Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Kansas area that it's just a big circle there of just bone dry. So.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at prices while we can anyway, and we'll take a look at the corn market here right now. Okay, on the corn, we are having a little bit of weakness continuing here in the early part of the trading day. We have the May down 2 1/4 at 384. And that's just one tick from the low of the day. July down 1 3/4 at 392 3/4. Your new crop December is currently down 2. We're trading at 408 3/4 right now. And if we look at the soybean trade, and that's the one that, you know, there has been so much concern about, well, if we can't get the corn all in, or if it gets delayed, they may have to shift to soybeans.
Right.
You know, overnight we were higher, but on the soybean trade now, we have reversed out already right after the open and gone lower. July beans down 3 1/2 at 1061 1/2. November new crop down 1 1/4. We are now at 1048. And then that wheat that we were just talking about here, on the Chicago wheat, we have the May down 9 1/4. July down 9 3/4 at 479 1/2. Now this is the one, Chris, where you would have the most liquidity, right?
Yes, that's exactly
Chicago.
right. Yes.
Okay, now in Kansas City wheat, as we switch over there, this is where they have the drought in the southern high plains, but they did have some moisture over the weekend, but not in the southern high plains.
Exactly.
But yet they hear the word moisture, and there it goes. We have July down 16 1/4 now at 498 3/4. How about the spring wheat in Minneapolis? Well, that's the one where we've been hearing about, what, 14 to 20 inches of snow in northern Nebraska and in South Dakota. And we have Minneapolis wheat lower. That's very intriguing here. July down 10 3/4 at 616 per bushel. And this is the one that we've heard more and more people talking about, that if they can't get the spring wheat in a timely fashion, they could shift to maybe soybeans or edible beans or something like that.
Canola, they could plant canola up there.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, I saw one study where if they don't get the spring wheat planted by June, a lot of times you will have way, way fewer acres than what USDA projected, like they did last month. So why is the market going down?
I have no idea. I really don't. It's the only thing you can think of, and of course, if it were in a little bit more in the summer, you'd think rain makes grain, and that's the only thing that I can think of is they are looking at the subsoil moisture. And in the wheat market, it is just a little bit different because there is not the demand that we see in corn and beans. Livestock production is creating an undertone of demand that even under supply issues for corn and beans, they can still hold an intrinsic value to them. The wheat, though, without that demand, any kind of new supply issues like this where you may get some more wetter weather, then they tend to work on it a little bit harder.
All right, now I want to take a look at the cotton market while we can.
Okay.
And then I want to ask you about this livestock trade, too,
Okay.
here on a Monday. Cotton, we have a split decision going on right now where you have July now 42 points higher at 83.77. And the new crop December down 13 points at 78.78. I would assume that that probably is because of the forecast rain in the southern plains where they were afraid the cotton would not come up this year.
Right, and so it increases subsoil moisture for that area as well.
All right, let's take a look at our cattle market right now. How are we opening up in live cattle? My goodness, June 217 higher at 105.82, August up 137 at 105.65. How about feeder cattle? Let's switch over there, and we have the May contract up $1.94 at 142.32, August up 155, so they seem to be gaining ahead of steam here.
Yes.
As we headed into the weekend, the cash market seemed to firm up a little bit.
It did.
Didn't it?
Friday afternoon, they traded some 122 cash cattle. The packer is in demand. There is tremendous pent-up consumer demand. The cold weather, the snow, the consumer is ready, and Mother's Day is going to be the first opportunity to get out there. We're starting to see grocers feature beef now, so the packer is killing a lot more. He wants more inventory, and he's not quite to the glut yet. So the mid-May through June, where they believe that the increase of inventory will come from, it's not here yet, so we've got this terrible weather that has become to impact the weights of cattle. So we may see packers have to come in and pull a few more numbers in from maybe further out time slots for kill. They'll bring that in closer too. That will diminish some of the excess that we have in the far end of it and be able to fill the spot right now where we have a kind of an immediate demand.
And all we heard for months and months was a wall of cattle.
Wall of cattle. Here they come. So now,
coming in.
Mother Nature is helping us dwindle that down a little bit.
All right, there is that. Let's look at lean hog trade and see how the futures are doing right now. Now here we have done some, as they say, Chris, backing and filling apparently. We have the June contract on the lean hogs down 97. We're at 76.68 in July, down $1.11 right now at 78.47. What does that do to the technical picture this morning?
Really not much of anything. The basis is continuing to widen in the June against the index, but there are those that believe that carcass index will begin to hold around this level. So if it does, then the natural flow of the seasonalities begins to pick up a little bit, and you see the hog market move up a little bit on the carcass, and then you might not see as much movement higher in the futures because they're already anticipating it.
All right, well, thanks, Chris, for a highly exciting edition of our market report.
On-fire morning.
This time around, so that was very intriguing. All right, anyway, but thanks for all the info
absolutely.
and for stopping by. Chris Swift of Swift Trading.
I stepped
That
away
was
for
fun.
a moment and look what you guys do. Thank
We
you.
We do what we can.
Thank you very much.